start, we will give you an introduction, then we will start the things.
Fine.
You can start.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hereby welcome you all in second day of last session of our one-week training program on advanced concrete technology and sustainable construction practice. I hope so you enjoy your break. It is a great honor to me to welcome our expert Professor Dr. K. Jalal sir, who is working as an industrial expert and doing so many projects on retrofitting. Sir had completed diploma in year 2000, BE in 2007, MTech in 2009 and PhD in 2015. Sir has completed so many projects on construction and restrengthening. Sir has published so many papers in national and international journals. Sir has honor of secure structure, rehabilitation, consulate and turnkey project. Sir traditional business model is based on the repair, rehabilitations, preservation, recentering, restoration and retrofitting of RCC structure. They give emphasis to durability of structure as well as strength of structure. Based on the decision of the company of diversity, their works, sir, have now established their companies work in all over the Gujarat and nearby states. Now I warmly welcome to our respected expert Dr. K. Jalal sir to continue this session.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Just I am sharing my screen.
Yes, sir. You may share your screen. I warmly welcome to you on this platform.
Yes, please. Now, I think this is the KB. Also, sir.
बोलिए please.
Started. Yes.
Open the sharing tray.
We can say press open share key and then.
Then go for desktop.
Okay. Open share key.
Then open also include
open
system
desktop.
audio. Include system audio. And then screen. Yes, fine.
Yes, I think now I can share my screen.
Now you just show your PPT.
Yes, yes. Is it started, Kaushal sir?
Sir, it is going on. You can minimize my video also because it has been shown my face. So you can minimize that one also.
Now, but
perfect.
This
Sir, make it
started?
F5, sir. Sir, make it F5.
Okay, that I will do. I will, you can say, minimize this thing.
Yes, exactly right.
I think it takes time, so.
PPT is visualized there.
Yes, maybe.
PPT has not been seen over here.
Yes, yes. Also it is there. Is there?
Yes, sir, perfectly right.
Yeah.
Sir, once again, make it the F5 or
fine.
The full screen.
Fine. Now it is
yes,
okay?
Sir. Perfect, sir. So now this platform is yours. You may rock on the platform. Thank you, sir.
Fine. Okay. Thank you all, and we can say also, sir, for your kind support and cooperation. And welcome all participants for this session. Now I want to present industrial scenario of re-strengthening of structure. That is my topic. But I want to convey to you all, we are in the same boat, just we have to train the next generation towards the civil engineering. I found in my career the re-strengthening or repair, or we can say the deterioration of structure, the reason is what? Then when I roam around the site, I seen several points in various stage of the construction. Just I want to share that stage when we are lacking and where we are lacking in the construction and during the execution of the instruction given by the structure engineer to the contractor, to the supervisor, and then the person who is the end user, who is present at the site. If he is not much, we can say, precise to, we can say, giving or strictly adhere to the instruction and execution the things as per the design of structural engineering, or what we design, or what we can say want to create a structure. Just I want to share first, if we want to tighten the small nut and bolts of the sheet, then there is the less chances of we can say submerge, or we can say fail of that sheet. The industrial scenario, what I actually convey, the site poor construction practices during new structure. When we are erecting a new structure, we can say in a urban area, but we can say in rural area or the remote area, there is a 70%, more than 70% we can say construction are going on, and the more and more person are now precise. Then still there is some we can say loopholes. What I want to emphasize on that, and I want to convey to you, then we have to convey to our, you can say, other colleagues or students or whatever. Then we want to tighten that nut and bolt, then we can make good constructions, good structures, and there is a less needs of repairs. That is my, you can say, convey to this all our fraternity. And after that, I will start the repairs, what we are our main topic, and then the case study. That is the sort of my, we can say, presentation. Why the structure built earlier are standing intact and giving services, and recently constructing buildings showing distress. These are, we can say, it is now perfect. Till now, it seems new. In 1930, we made this, we can say, RCC vault. It is now fine. This we are familiar of this. This is also fine. This is also fine. This is the one we can say good RCC work, what we want to convey and what we want to erect such type of structures. Now within, we can say, 10 to 12 years, such structures need repairs and cracks and other things. You can see the black cracks on the structure. Not more than 10 or 12 years. What is the, we can say, actual durability or actual life of the structure? Minimum 50 to 100 years. If there is a special structure, the life is, we can say, 200 to 300 years. If there is a, we can say, more special structure like temple and we can say hospital, it is 500 years. But this is within a 10 or 15 years, such, we can say, scenario, we can see. It's really pity for, we can say, our society. Then we are facing such problems. But when I go through the reverse engineering, why such things have happened, then what I found such points, then I want to convey. This is the cracks. This is the cracks. You can see. This is the replastering, case of the replastering. This is the column. Beside the column, there is a rainwater pipe, and it is leaking. This is the culprit, is, you can say, particularly this rainwater pipe, and the columns are in a vulnerable condition. This is the scenario. Most of the people, we are familiar about it. This is the delamination. This is also covering is gone of the slab. This plaster is gone. This is covering, plasters, both are gone. What we have to introspect, we have to think in that particular direction. Why the way we build our buildings, in which we have to correct that particular area. First, we start from the excavation and setting of the building. This is the type of soil. Then subsoil water table. These are the points the person who is at site, he should be, he can be aware of it. The refilled soil, when we are going to purchase any plots or we can purchase any land, we should know if there is not a refilled soil. If it is refilled soil, then our foundation should not be within a 3 or 4 meter, it should be the actual level, and then we have to erect. The local poor pocket, then during we can say construction, local poor pocket, due to local poor pocket, the particular that soil will be on in the particular pit, and that may be a fatal accident happen in the such case. This is a local poor accumulation. It is here and nearby our site. Then our all the calculations of the sites and timing or duration of our particular construction will be disturbed. If anyone can give answer, what is the thing should be done by the person who is at site, who is not done during the particular dismantling of the adjacent structure. Anyone can guess what should be done here, and it is not here in the photographs. Because after completion of engineering, the person who visited site, he will be as a site supervisor. What is the supervisor? Meaning of supervisor? The person whose vision is super than the other person, we can say person of the site, that's the supervisor. When he is, we can say, dismantling this particular nearby structure, he has to give support one by one. When he is dismantling this floor, he has to support, then his floor he has to support, and this floor he has to support. In spite of their starting excavation here, what is the scenario of this adjacent structure? There may be a fatal, there is a loss of case of the, we can say, tilting of the building, adjacent building without this support. This is the major points someone is missing. Then after excavation, don't put this soil here. It should be, we can say, near 10 meter less than all soils are, we can say, accumulating the bucket, and then our concrete will be affected. This is the good engineering excavation. Then this is our target. Excavating entire area is really advisable? No, because we don't get the benefit of consolidated soil nearby when we excavate entire area. We have to one by one, you can say, footing should be excavate and then erect during tremor. This is not an excavation of basement. This is for the footing, and then they will refill that soil. It is one type of soft story here. Then we have to concentrate, or we are taking the quality of materials. Basically concrete, we know that it is a man-made stone. Concrete made by mixing sand plus rock, aggregate, cement, water. These are the, we can say, ingredients. First, mixture of aggregate and paste. Then paste should be 30 to 40%, and Portland cement is 7 to 15% by volume in the concrete. Then water should be, as per the mix design, 14% to 21%. Aggregate, the filler material, it should be 60 to 70%. Coarse and fine. You can add mixture. These are the basics. Portland cement. Dry powder of very fine particle, form a paste, chemical reaction, hydration, glue, paste coats all the aggregate together and harden and form solid mass. This is the basic. And water, for two purposes we need the water. One is the chemical reaction, one is the workability. Only 1/3 part of the water is needed for the chemical reaction. Other is for the, we can say, our workability. If it is extra water added than that, then results in porosity. It is good for the preventing plastic shrinkage, cracking and workability, and bad for the permeability and strength and durability. These basics should be clear the person who is executing at site. Aggregate, we know, cheap filler, hard material, provide for volume stability, reduce volume changes, provide abrasion resistance at road. And cement, which company's cement is there, what is the grade. Most of now it is a 50 grade. In you can say previous year the 33 and 43 grade is comes in picture. Basically a 33 and 43 grade cement is really good for the plaster because we can prevent the crack by the less grade of cement due to CQS, more CQS content and less CQS content. Then date of manufacturing, will taste, weight and fineness. If we don't know the date of manufacturing, it is we can say more than 3 months, please avoid that cement because there is a fineness is gradually gone day by day if the date of manufacturing is not nearby. If we are, in spite of that, if we are not sure about the cement, there is a batch number on the cement bag and you can contact to the cement company. This is the batch number at my you can say site and this is the cement. Please give the result of the cement. Fineness, all result will be given by the company. If you are mail to the company, give the base number and date of manufacturing. Then we can say the weight, field test, weight, fineness, that we can know by the stand. Stand should be like not this. This is not a mixture of something, all the things that we can say mix in the sand and we put on the concrete. That's not the case. When the monsoons started, the river, the person cannot, you can say, collect that sand from the middle of the river. That's why the person of that particular sand supplier, they are collecting river from the bank, you can say bank of the river, and along with that particular sand, they are supplying with mud to us. It is a good, it is, we can say, it is good for that people. There is a mud, but we have to avoid such and vigilant about this type of areas. If it is there, we have to wash that sand with this such a type of machine and other machine also available to sand washing. This is a good type of coarse aggregate. We know the flaky and we can say elongation should be there, and flaky and elongated material should not be used, but they are using because this is a flaky and I see on the side we are happily used in the slab, which is and slab and columns. This is not good for that. This is the we can say portion which is of we can say a free lime. If this free lime in the concrete, then it will be a density will be gone because after in concrete it will react and our density and concrete strength will not be as per our mix design. This is also that free lime in there. This is the elongated. Brick should be also in a good, we can say that, because when the masonry is there, the masonry fails, then plaster also fail and the water comes into the particular our structure and affect the concrete like the beams and slab and columns. This is the fly ash brick we can use. Then the reinforcement. Most we can say we are not much emphasize what is the reinforcement. Nowadays there is a good companies available, Tata and there is a lot of companies. But this is the bad poor quality. This is not the case. If we this type of case in our side of the reinforcement, we should aware and we have to act accordingly. This is the poor quality. There is a types of bar, untwisted and we can say CTD bar. But what is the how to know the bar is thermomechanically treated or not? How we know the bar is thermomechanically treated or not? There is a cursory test at site we have to perform because TMT bar with no quenching, we should know, we know that by the process of quenching, we are getting the thermomechanically treated bar. The external portion of the bar is you can somewhat hard and the center portion is little ductile. The thermomechanically bar with no quenching or we can say abrupt quenching in water tank. There is a fake rebar or TMT rebar with inadequate, improper quenching in quenching tubes. It is a substandard bar. This we have to totally process is heating, drawing and quenching and tempering. This is the normal process of TMT bar. So first we have to take care of the cursory test. cut the small length test sample from a few randomly selected TMT bar at any lot in a cutting machine, if not by hexo cutting, then cross section of that test sample shall be near finish with the within the suitable polysilicon DY 3000 RPM, that we have to check it out and finished it for the 10 minutes, and then the cross section of the particular that bar with few drop of nitrile solution, it is only 10% concentrated nitric acid and 90% of ethyl alcohol. Soon after reaching two distinct faces or shades with uniform thickness are clearly visible on the cross section. If the rebar are genuine TMT bar, the two faces are not distinct. The rebar is a substandard or fake TMT rebar. What is the actual good rebar? See here. Basically, this is the ideal good for wheel construction. 50 to 30% area are of the periphery. Just a minute, sorry. Yes. This is here. This is the uniform 15 to 20%, 30% area. It is softer ferrite perlite core. This is here. Now, this is also over quench bar. This is, we can say, not uniform, and this is, we can say, bad quenching system we cannot use. After, we can say that etching of that, the particular that bar should be look like this, not this or not this or this. If it is this, then we have to act and inform our higher authority and reject that bars. This is the check of the bar that the supplied from the genuine TMT technology. If we are carrying up these points, then that case may not be happened. And so that the TMT technology supplied to the mill is by an authorized or competent organizer. Check the license, then license from BIS.
Hello.
And, hello. Yes. Then always take the rebar for the property instead of merely relying on the pneumatic. Then these are Parikh sir, everything is fine, eh? Hello.
Yes, sir, you can continue. Everything is perfect.
Fine, okay. There is some noise in the background, that's right. Okay, now we have
So
to
somebody has,
no.
yes, somebody has unmuted his mic, so it's fine, everybody here from your side.
Now after that material we have to, we can say, concentrate the construction equipment. These are the Firma, and this is the Firma. The volume by volume we are making the concrete. Most of the case they are making by volume. This is the Firma of, you can say, 4-1 big cement. This is the mixer machine drum. Now the wrongly filled volume measures, there we can say measures such like that. That's why the per cement bag it should be by this volume, but they are filling such thing. In next slide we are clearly visible here. What is this? This should not be there. What is our mix design? What is the, we can say, we concentrate about the grade of the concrete, and then because they have in hurry, the person, labor contractor or the team, they are in hurry, and due to that hurriedness, they are making such, we can say, mistakes. We have to stick at side and avoid such practice. And this is also a wrong practice. Unknown size of the melas. Don't go for such that. Then this is the adding excess water. If the person on the slab or during concreting, he is not able to, we can say, pouring concrete in the junction, because there is a junction, there is a bent up bar, there is an extra bar, there is a cantilever top bar, everything is there. If they are not convenient to pour concrete in that bar, they, we can say, give some signal to the particular this person, and he is adding extra water than what we decide. This practice also, we can say, we have to avoid. This is the good practice, the modern concrete mixer, but it is not feasible to, we can say, execute this machine in every site. Then vibrator. This is the wrong practice of vibrator using. Just this is fact. This is in quickly and out slowly. During, we can say, when you are using vibrator. And it is one by one. Poker should be this all area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything is covered like this. And poker must be long enough to go into bottom layer. Sometimes the beam, depth of the beam is there. That particular length of poker should be perfect. Then never touch the form face with the poker. Don't touch the, we can say, form work with the poker. Then never touch the reinforcement with the poker, because they are starting the, we can say, casting the slab from the one end. If we have touched the, we can say, reinforcement, that end, we can say, particular slab or concrete is settled, and due to this touch the reinforcement, the bonding between the uh, reinforcement and concrete is gone. And never split the concrete with the poker. These all are the things we have to take care during poker. Then now start from the footing. During subsoil water or rainy season, they are not dewatering. What they do, they fill the particular, these all, you can say, columns and putting all the things and pour the concrete, dry concrete directly. They are not, because two things is there. One, they don't have to, we can say, dewatering, and don't add water in the concrete. Directly fill that footing. This should be avoided. We should give the proper cover to the footing. Minimum 50 mm cover should be there. Then after that cover is there, don't put coarse aggregate as a cover. This is the slope of footing we have to maintain. Otherwise, such slant slope like this will be there. This is the quality it speaks. Don't use plastic bed. See, and clean the reinforcement cage before we can just start the formwork of the column. Otherwise, the bonding of the new concrete and the bar, particular this bar, is not there. Then ground beams. These are the, we can say, bad scenario of ground beams. Where is we can we have to take. There they put the brick, and during rainy season it's gone. See, we have to give the proper bottom to the ground beam. Construction joint without stopper, that should be avoided. This is the all possibility of mud mix to the column. If the person on the side, they are not vigilant, the other person, they are create the formwork and pour the concrete here, and this layer is gone. This is the weak link of the chain in the throughout column. Then the plinth beam. During plinth beam, they have to tie the ring first, stirrup first, and then cast this beam. They don't tie the stirrups. What is the result? It seems like the, we can say, road used for the compaction. Here, possibility of corrosion. See, don't use brick as a part of the concrete. Otherwise, this size is gone. They use formwork. This is also there. Don't use bricks. See, what is the direction of the column, X or Y? Avoid such dismantling. Use the rebar. There is a good companies, Fishers and Hiltis, German companies, they are providing such chemicals. We can drill and make some correction in the existing construction. Don't use plastic. Now the column above the plinth beam. This is the starter. What is the loopholes of the starter? I shown at the site. If there is one slab is erected and next day they want to erect a column, formwork of column on the that side, the person who instructed to that labor to go to the starter and lay the concrete in the starter. Hardly there is a one bag concrete will be used in the all columns, because it is not more than, it is 75 and 100, not more than that. So if there is 100 bag, 200 bag, 1000 bag concreting is there, everyone is very vigilant and they are taking care of the concreting. But one bag concreting, they are not much caring. After 6 o'clock, I will give you some, we can say, extra amount, please fill the starter. And the person who is not vigilant, if the all concrete, this all concrete is this all concrete is M35, M40, this particular starter is not more than M10 or M15, what I seen, because they are not using much coarse aggregate, they are using more fine aggregate due to their easiness, easy working. Every floor, this starter is M10 and M15. It is a weak link of the chain during, you can say, tremor or earthquake, and it will be cracked by here. So if we want to use the starter, then be vigilant, take care about the quality of concrete. Otherwise we have to, we can say, draw the uh, size of column by sketch pen. Uh, 4 nails should be, we can say, fixed 1, 2, 3, and 4 side, and then put formwork on that. Don't use starter. By that, they are avoiding. See, this is the size, actual size. Here is the extra thing. The column is going by the other faces. This is X and Y direction. In Y direction, column is, you can say, moving. This is the ultimate resultant. The neck is gone. What is the case of our design? This is also, we can say, axial load. This is the real axis is here. Then real axis is here. And ultimately, axis is out of the column. So take care about this thing during, you can say, junction. End of the, due to last floor, the column bar should be terminate. When during termination, it should be bent like 90 degree and it should be cast in the slab. Don't make small column on the terrace. It should be terminate here because it is fixed at the last, and during tremor, it gives some fixity to the structure, and it will not corrode in rainy season, and it will, you can say, water should be vented in the column and it will corrode. See, they forgot what is the direction of column. Actual direction is here, and due to what we discussed in previous slides, such reason, now they know that this is a mistake, and they, you can say, change the direction of column. It is a very, we have to dismantling. You see, old column, and wrong concreting, they are dismantled. We see the dust here. Don't, we have to, you can say, recast all the things, open all the things, whatever the wrong column, till we can say jet floor, remove that column and then go through that particular new column. This is the, that formwork should be in plumb. This is cross. When the weight of concrete is there may be collapse. This is the good piece of scaffolding. This is not good. Every slurry will be out of this gap and our concrete will be weak. We have to not need to provide 15% of floor area of formwork. No opening is needed. And ultimately, result is here. Then during lunch, what they do? Scenario. If there is a 1 p.m., whatever the mortar, whether it is plaster mortar or concrete mortar, they stop the working. Initial setting time of the cement is 30 minutes. After, when they pour the water at, you can say, 12:30 or 12:45, and they start the working at 2, more than 1 and 1.5 hours or 90 minutes or 100 minutes, this mortar is as idle. And this strength is not, we can say, we are not getting the achieved strength, whether it is plaster. If there is a plaster, there is a crack and it will fail. Whether there is a concrete, we are not getting the strength. Here it is. Everyone is lunch. He is not bothered to clear this particular one gamela. One is one. At that time over, put that gamela here as it is. And after, we can say, 1 hour, he start, we can say, they pour some water and start the plastering or concreting as it is. See, these are the small nut and bolts we have to take care. Now, other culprit is plumbing and drainage services. See, this is the they pipe through RCC beam. It should not be there. Here and here. Here also they break the beam. Here also they break the slab also. This is they put the groove in the column, and there is a size is, you can say, 0.23. They groove it, the size is going by 0.18 or that. That is a crack, and it may be a junction which is vulnerable in tremor. More than half size of the beam is gone. If it is there, if something hole or crack is there, the whole area, this beam, slab, all thing will be corroded by this pipe. Because this is RWP rainwater pipe, something is there, our structure will be liquidated within 3 or 4 years, not more than that, maximum 5 years. Ultimately, the result is there. We are seeing such scenario if we are not carrying these points. Then other culprit is concealed electric line. I am nowadays the new practice is they are not going for the concealed electric line. Then I am happy. But those who are still practicing this concealed electric line, you can see the scenario. See here. What is the thickness of slab? This is not pipe. This is already fixed. It is not laying here below the bars. Here also. How we can pour the concrete here, and how if it is pouring in a right manner. In spite of that, what is the stress curve and what is the actual calculation of our structure design? This is not laying, it is already fixed in slab. See, because every floor, if there is a high rise, every floor has one pipe below this beam. What is the scenario when the person who are occupying this building and the leakage start and the crack start, and you can see what is the characteristic of what is the modulus of elasticity of plastic, what is the modulus of elasticity of steel, and what is the modulus of elasticity of concrete, how it can sustain. Just please, if there is some practices there, we have to be vigilant and avoid and see that here. I found one case by this pipe. I remember one thing. At one building, they called me. There is a lots of water. There is a lots of water in their premises. So they doing 2 or 3 times waterproofing. Every year they dismantle waterproofing and go for new waterproofing. In spite of the problem, will not be resolved. So I visited that site, and these 2 or 3 pipes are concealed in parapet. And during monsoon, this pipe is directly, you can say, travel. The water is directly travel from this pipe and in the switchboard and all the beneath room which are flooded with the water. Then only small things, just cut this pipe and seal it, then it will resolve. So avoid this practice. This is also for wiring. See, very good concreting, but they are spoiled with this groove. And we have to take care of vegetations also. Vegetations, take care about it. This is there. Don't pour acid in. Don't pour acid in vegetation. Just use pesticides which are using for the agriculture purpose. Remove this and put pesticides, because it is not acidic. Some persons are, we can say, pouring acid in the concreting after removing this all agriculture, means this all plants. Don't use acid. Use you can say the agriculture pesticides. These. Okay. Now we come to our point of when the repair is required. These are the lots of points we discussed. The small nuts and bolts we have to tighten. Then more than 90% problem will be resolved if we caring about those points. The one, reinforcement corrosion, we have to take care. Then carbonation, check it out, because carbonation is such things when we are going for the rebound hammer test, it gives a lots of strength, because hardness test. Due to carbonation, concrete is hard enough, it is brittle and giving a good strength. Then we have to take a carbonation. Then sulfate attack, then salt weathering like Dwarka and Bombay and all that seashore. We have to carrying that side of. Otherwise, in Surat also during high tide, the all sea water is coming in the river, and that buildings on the river bank, they are not considering the salt weathering which are affected. Alkali aggregate reactivity, then ultimately the things is said, cracking of concrete, then acid attack near industrial area, damage due to fire, and attack due to microorganism. So what is the option? Someone they are not repairing, then actual repair start. Someone cosmetic, please don't go for cosmetic repair. If the delamination of concrete is there, plaster is going, cover is going, steels or reinforcements are we can say in a open condition, don't go for plaster. Don't go for plaster. Go for the actual repair methodology and consult some actual person who know how to treat this particular RCC member. Then partial repair or total repair, then partial repair or total replacement. These are the one or these are 6 option everyone is going on. But first we have to consult the real or the person who is experts in this area, and then proceed on. What is the procedure? First, the preparation, the desk work we have to. For desk work, preliminary investigation should be there, visual and appraisal, then detail by data collection, field measurement, condition survey, sample collection, testing of samples, and analysis and evaluation. Then conclusion and recommendation. This is all done by the consultant according to case by case and according to side by side. Then what is the repair method? If there is a masonry structure, pinning of arch ring separation, concrete fill of spandrel work, and crack injection grouting, etc., we can repair the masonry structure. But nowadays the concrete, the surface protection of steel reinforcement, then for steel structure, repair of corrosion, cracks and distortion, rough and cast iron stiffening stitching. Then structural crack mainly occur due to defective design and defective load assumptions and perception of behavior of structure. Then what I remember one side, there is a balanced cantilever of the cycle stand. In the center there is a column and both side cantilever is there. But that cycle stand is near the, you can say, football ground. In that football ground there is a match and the spectators are, we can say, climbing on that particular roof, and one side they are, we can say, seat, and that we can say roof is tilting because it is balanced cantilever. This is the, we say that assumption and perception and behavior of the structure. Defective, we have to take care that this is the ground and we cannot do the balanced cantilever, and anyone can, we can say, climb on it and it will tilt. In correct assessment of bearing capacity of foundation, soil and properly. In some structure I found that no one is going for the bearing capacity of foundation, soil and soil properly. They ask nearby structure, okay, how deep you go for the foundation. They say that it is fine. Then they copy that, but don't go for it. Go for the soil testing and then proceed for the structure. And defective detailing of joints of components like roof, feet, brick wall, corner joints. These are the small things we have to take care. Then defective detailing of structural detail of steel reinforcement. In such case, I remember Professor Ajay Shah is discussing in Britain. They return the 3-inch center to center stirrup, but due to some fault, each is there is a 3 point, and in a foot there is a 1 dot. They write 1 dot or 1 point is gone, and the contractor is provide a stirrup 3 feet center to center. This is the case what he discussed. And lack of quality control during construction, what the point we discussed in the previous slides. Then cracks in building. First, a non-structural crack due to incorrect design, faulty construction, overloading. What we know that a non-structural moisture changing, thermal movement, elastic deformation, creep. We can say aging creep may be there. Then chemical reaction near industry, and foundation movement and settlement of soil. This is I want to I say one thing in river bank of Tapi. One structure is there. Some foundations are near soft soil and some foundations are away from the river. So it is start tilting. That is the foundation movement of settlement of soil and vegetation. What we have to avoid. This is a non-structural crack. One thing we have to take care about the non-structural crack. By the small point we can avoid this non-structural point. Which point is there? The building material is expand or absorbing moistures and shrink on the drying, shrinking and drying. They are generally reversible. Shrinkage is concrete or mortar depends on the number of factors. One, cement concrete richer the mix, greater the drying shrinkage. It is obvious. We have to take care when the richer the mix, we have to go for good curing. Richer the mix, greater the drying shrinkage. Then water content, more water in mix induce greater shrinkage. More water is greater shrinkage, obvious. Then large aggregate with good grading has less shrinkage or same workability as less water is used. This is the very basic points, but somehow it's not executed as what we think. Then curing, if proper curing start as soon as possible, initial set has place and continues for the 7 to 10 days. What I suggest when we cast the slab within 1 or 16 or 90 minutes, we have to cover that particular slab by the plastic sheets because there is no moisture will be evaporated. No moisture will be evaporated, and most of the case next day just the whole night moisture is going and somewhat slab will be become. So I suggest that this slab we have to within a 60 minute or 90 minute cover the slab with the plastic sheet. Then excessive fine, more finely shrinkage. Concrete made in hot weather need more water for same workability, then hence result is more shrinkage. Then repairing crack. Now how to repair the crack? By the placing a mark at the end of crack, a pin or toothpick is slightly wedged into crack and it falls out, there is extension of defect. Check it out whether it is live or dormant crack. Other thing is that a strip of notch cap works similarly. Movement is indicated by the tearing of cap. If you can say add the cap on that particular thing is tap is you can say tearing, that crack is you can say live crack. The device using a TPA vernier caliper is also work here. Both extension and compression are indicated. If more accurate reading are desired, extensometer is you can use. Then more extreme accuracy is required. Resistance strain gauge can be glued across the crack. The strain gauge is available. Otherwise, you can use the that slide also. We can use the blood test. That slide should be you can say adhere to that crack and slide with the crack. That glass crack also we can use. This is the mark end of the crack here. Then this is the pin. This is not cap. This not cap will be here from here. And this is a gauge point. You can use the strain gauge. Then bonding with epoxies. We can use the epoxies to inject in that concrete. Epoxy should be used for the structural, not for water leaking or that things. Epoxy bonding the bond under the pressure. The injection routing is there. If we are using the cementitious material, then 10 pound per square inch, 10 psi pressure should be there. If we are using epoxy, then there is a 90 to 100 psi pressure should be there in injection routing. Usual practice is to drill into crack and the face of concrete in several locations. Then inject water or solvent to flush out the defect. Then allow surface to dry. Then seal the crack between injection points. 2 point is there, 1, 2, 3 point. We can just seal the crack between that. Inject the epoxy until it flow out of the adjacent section of the cracks, begin to bulge out the surface seal. This is the, you can say, we inject it. Just I want to show one video how it is feasible. If it is working here, then I will show you one video. Well, you can see this photograph also. It is going very slow. Okay. We'll come to our presentation. It is going slow. Okay, if it is feasible, then I will, you can say, close this PPT and then we will show this. I will show you that video. This is the epoxy injection routing. This is the point. It can allow the material to pour in the that particular joint. It doesn't allow to come out. It is one way. You can pull. I will do the presentation. It takes time because it's running slow. Okay. Then routing and sealing. First, we have to routing the particular crack. This method involves the enlarge the crack. Just V groove by V groove, we have to open the crack in filling and sealing with the suitable material. Now, routing operation, placing the sealant. This is a method where through water tightness of the joint is not required, where appearance is not important. This is here. Original crack, routing by V groove and fill the material. Then stitching. You can stitch the concrete or that masonry by the steel dogs. Here. Use the stitching. Going quickly because we have to put the case studies. These are tension tie. This is the crack and tension tie also we can use. You can tighten the nut here and crack will be resolved. One here also. Here it is, you can see here, it is this spacing here and here. Here the spacing is used in this tendon in the bridge. And routing same manner, injection, I will show you the injection routing video after the end of this PPT. This is the machine here, pressure pump, and we can inject the material in the, we feel this material in this particular cylinder and then giving the pressure from here and it will come out from here and it is entered in the and seal the cracks. The blanketing means jacketing. The jacketing should be just I also want. Okay, this is the blanketing. If we are not going for V groove in expansion joints and other various joint, this gives the more contact area to the material, more surface area, spherical. This undercut, it doesn't allow to come out and release the crack. If you want to go for the more material, then we have to go for the barrel chase and it will go in like this. But most of case 1 and 2 and V groove we are using. Here it is in other figure. This is of overlays what we see. Then repairing of spelling and disintegration. I will show you in case studies. These are the general guidelines we have to follow. Movement of joints, we have to take care of these all points just I am discussing quickly. In roof slab, provide 20 to 25 mm wide in 10 to 20 meter apart. We have to provide that movement of joints. In support of RCC slab, 4 to 6 meter length, provide slip joint between slab and bearing wall. In RCC frame structure, other load and bearing structure, provide 25 to 40 mm wide expansion joint at 30 to 45 meter interval. In junction between old and new structure, provide vertical slip joint. In compound wall, expansion joint 5 to 8 mm wide at 5 to 8 meter interval. You can see there is I see lots of compound wall which is failed due to this reason. It is tilting. Concrete pavement. In concrete pavement, such 20-25 mm at 25 meter to 40 meter interval to control joint at 5 to 8 meter in cross direction 3 to 5 meter interval. Just in 5 to 8 meter wide at 4 to millimeter at 4 to 6 meter interval. And in RCC railing, now don't provide RCC railing because lots of load is there. We removed lots of RCC railing from the structure and provide a steel railing because we are removing the extra load. But in this, provide expansion joint 5 to 8 mm wide at 6 to 9 meter interval. Whereas also don't provide RCC railing. Long-term monitoring strategy, that's for the structural health monitoring, like visual inspection, check the debonding, monitoring chloride and moisture content, measurement of carbonation depth, assessing reinforcement corrosion, what resistivity check. This is not much happen in the we can say residential buildings, but in structural we can say industry, these practices they are following because every year they want structural stability certificate. Without these points, and no structural engineer will give the structural stability certificate. These all places will be in a good condition. Potential meter and all half potential meter and all the things we are using to test this corrosion rate, corrosion potential, resistivity, and check the carbonation rate by the phenolphthalein. You can, in simple thing, you can drill the surface of the RCC, and every we can say 10 mm drill, you can collect the dust in every various plate, and you can put the phenolphthalein on that. The first 10 mm is fine, second 10 mm, third 10 mm or 5 mm, you can know the carbonation rate by that things. In industry, this is a good practice. What I mean that in residential building also this practice should be welcome. Now, what is retrofitting? There is a three definition, but I am happy with this definition as per the 13935 to upgrade the earthquake resistance up to the level at present day code by the appropriate techniques. And exit the building which are built as per the earlier code, and now what is the nowadays code is in practice. We have to incorporate that our building in that case. These are the normal things. It is upgrading of certain building system such as mechanical, electrical or structural to improve performance, function or appearance. Retrofitting means structural strengthening of building whether or not an earthquake has occurred. Means in this to be incorporated. Okay. Meaning of retrofitting: existing weak unsafe building not designed to codes, upgrading of code-based seismic design forces, upgrading of seismic zone. After Latur, that zone will be upgrading. I think as a structural engineer we must know. Deterioration of strength on aging of structure, modification of existing structure affecting its strength adversely, change in the use of building, increasing the floor load, because I found lots of areas, whether you are providing or designing the building a residential building, but they are using the commercial and they store the material and all the things, the whole load will be changed. Higher cost of, in some areas also, in residential building, they are using embroidery machine and they start the embroidery machine on that, and the vibration will be a problem. Okay. Higher cost of rebuilding than the strengthening of retrofitting. Okay. Then preservation of historical architecture. This is very costly affair. Preservation of historical architecture is very costly affair, but we have to because we have to design the mortar also for that particular historical architecture, because as per the Moderator said in previous lecture, the compatibility between the repair material and the existing structure, which are very important point. In this historical architectural, existing structure is so old, and we have to design the mortar for this preservation. Maintaining functional, social and cultural environment, that is the normative. Deficiency building, simple and regular configuration, adequate. These all should be essential. Adequate lateral strength should be there after repair, adequate lateral stiffness, adequate ductility, integral action. If it is not proper, then that deficiency will be covered by the repair. The solution, how we solve that all issues. The new shear wall, by this shear wall we can control the drift, and we can resolve the irregularity problem, design according to new core, foundation. This is new shear wall we have to adopt in the repair fitting. Then steel bracing, it is very effective. Connection between bracing, concrete is very particular. Then jacketing, steel, RC and FRC, what yesterday Kaushal sir discussed. Element strength and deformation capacity, it is local, and joints. The technique is one is global and one is local. If we are adding the shear wall, the globally building effect, adding infill wall, adding bracing, adding wing wall, buttresses, wall thickness, mass reduction, supplementary dampers, and these are the globally affected the building. Whether we have to repair the globally or locally, that we have to check. The jacketing of beam, jacketing of column, these are the local. But check out one, when you are jacketing of column, if you are jacketing of one side of column, other side is the weak. During tremor, the jacketed column will be more stiff and it will attract the load, and that column will be the fail first. If you are jacketing the all four corner X and Y direction, check it out and then decide the jacketing of column. Don't haphazardly jacketing one or two column and then left that side as it is, because it will attract the you can say load. Then it is more stiff during tremor, then it will fail first. Then jacketing the beam column joint, then strengthening individual footing. In jacketing, what is the purpose? They increase the concrete confinement, then shear strength, then increase the flexural strength, then increase strength and ductility. Adequate connection. Ductility is what? If the steel is not more than 70% steel should be there. If corrosion is 30% or more than 30%, then we have to jacket it first, because we have to add more steel, and then it increases the ductility. Then adequate connection of new and old concrete, additional longitudinal bar to continuous to the slab, bars to be anchored to the foundation, that we will see in the case study. Replacement of buckled or yield bar, additional ties as per the seismic detailing, because in previous building I see in the stirrups 300 mm center to center. I also saw in such buildings 300, more than 300 spacing stirrups. Then column size is increased, and placement of ties at joint is, that is a very crucial point. Placement of ties at joint is difficult, but we are rebarring it and place the ties. These are the jacketing. You can see here extra footing pad foundation we are doing. Here is there. As per the new total provision, we are to 75 mm or 100 mm center to center, we are providing stirrups. These are the injection grouting: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the injection grouting in a staggered manner. Okay. These are the steel jacketing. Okay. But during steel jacketing, we have to take care that we have to paint the anti-corrosive paint every, you can say, 1 or 2 years, otherwise it will be corrode. This is the bracing. Brace we can provide, otherwise we can provide the bracket also in this manner. Rebar the all things here and give the bracket, then this beam should be supported. Because in a cantilever, top bar is acting, but during monsoon, in a balcony, no one is caring about the stagnant water in the balcony, and a top bar of the cantilever beam will be corroded and is trying to buckle. Then we can give such type of bracket to give support. Shear wall, you can see we can provide the shear wall also here. This is the infill wall. After huge earthquake, such buildings they are going for unnecessary opening. They, you can say, close by this type of infill wall. Then during rehabilitation, we have to assess the damage. These are the such points. Ultimate concluded point: assess the damage, determination of the feasibility of repair. Whether it is feasible or not, whatever the method we adopted to the repair or reconstruct, it should be feasible. Because the top floor is the ownership of the other person, and we are residing with the other person. They are not allowing us to enter in their premises. Then we have to change the method. Decided the best method to be used for repair. Prepare a scheme for reconstruction. Consult with the authority. The sequence of operation. Prepare a scheme for propping and bracing. It's a very important point. We have to prop the building in a column of the all floor and include the schedule of top load. Specify the extent of repair work in detail. Now, just I am giving some case studies, the real photographs of site. Tour you here at the site in certain extent. This is the failure of deteriorated dying mills column. You can see this column is going to corrode. No one is take care. They erect the extra masonry here, but they don't care to repair this column. See, one night the person called that supervisor, there is some voice like cheering, chi 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 or kar, some voice are coming from this column, and they, you can say, contact the agencies. Okay, then we visited here. This is the corner column. Yes, my cursor is not working properly. This is the corner column, and here 10 meter spacing is after 10 meter. This column is here. Means there is an ample load on this column. Here, we instantly support the I section to the that particular column. First, this bar is straight, but after 24 hours, this bar to start bending. Means it means that within a 24 hour, this building is, we can say, tilt, bend, or we can say deflect, or one year we can say 20 mm. Okay, it is very crucial stage. Then this is the culprit. This is the pipe. When we can see this is the chemicals. The pH is less than 7. So the pH is 4 or 5 in a dying meal. Okay, and these particular chemical or wastewater is coming from this top pipe, and it should be gone in this pipe. But this pipe is broken. No one is caring to repeat this pipe, and they are sprinkling this all low pH water on this column, and there is a that's why the result is that column is in a certain compromising condition. Then this is, you can see, this is the support I section. Within every 1 meter we support the beam and giving and made this column load free. By we can say our luck, we are getting when trying to excavate it, we are getting a a old boiler foundation, and instant we can say rebar the new particular this bar, and within a 48 hour we can just support this column and repair it. These are the bonding agent. We can say styrene rubber, because this is a old concrete and a new material should be there. We are using micro concrete. It gives a 25 Newton per mm square strength within 24 hours. Micro concrete should be used, because you cannot wait for the 28 days to take strength. This is the structural rehabilitation of the elevated water tank. This is we can say size is 10 meter. The diameter is a 10 meter, and certain cracks and we can say delamination is started. The agency, this is a sugar factory. They contact us to repair it, and we test the rebound hammer and UPV, but the concrete is we can say not less than 15, 13, 14, 15, not more than that. And we can say steel is also in correct condition, so we are not sure about the foundation is good or not. So we decide to jacket these columns and make a new foundation on the ground. See, this is the scenario. After this thing we cannot really see fine, but when we start to, we can say, remove the loose portion of the concrete, these are in a very vulnerable condition. So we decide to jacket it and make a new foundation, some paired foundation at the ground. This is the scenario of. See, this is a we can say spacing of stirrup what I discussed. It is more than 300 mm. As per the old code, I don't know whether it is permitted or not, but the new scenario, it should be not more than 100 mm. 75 to 100 mm should be there. So we decide to jacket it. You can say beam also, you can see. Tie beam. Can we erect a new foundation? Here is the 10 mm bar both side, and here in a center we decide the spacing of 125 mm, and then this is the spacing, and here is more and here is less, and in distribution steel also the same spacing we adopted. And this is the bar, L bar, which we can say started for the jacketing. For jacketing, this bar is, you can say, in this foundation. This is the single layer of the particular this mesh. In the next slide we can see this is a double layer. After single layer completed, this double layer is there. There is the same design, and we make a pin, and ultimately it is a 300 and 300, 600 mm you can say depth of this particular pad foundation, round pad foundation is there. You see here, and this particular rebar, this particular bar for the jacketing is L shape, and ultimately load is distributing in this particular new pad foundation. Start this, you can say, concreting, and this is the concreting is over. M30 concrete we use here for the that particular foundation. Maybe we can say connect this foundation with the old foundation, because existing foundation is increased now. You can see here, this is injection routing and polymer car comes in picture. Here, this next I think this is the shear connector. These and these are the shear connector. The shear connector is it doesn't allow the old column and new you can say jacketed column to reduce the you can say prevent the pipe in pipe effect. It is we can say remove the shear between surface of old old concrete and new concrete. This is the shear connector. If you want to shear connector on next side, it is a stagger condition. Here in that side, here in that side. Don't we can say drill here and here same. Otherwise, it should be through. Okay. This is the shear connector, and this is the after casting. In casting, we are using 50% M25 concrete and 50% micro concrete because we need a early strength, and only micro concrete is a very costly affair. That's why 50% portion of the particular this concrete is M25 and 50% is micro concrete. So we got a good concreting and good the strength of this concrete. Here is junction. You can see beam. The condition of beam is there. Tie beam is in a very vulnerable condition, and we rebar the new bar here and make a new stirrup and cast it here. You can see by M25 50% and 50% micro concrete. Here is there. You can see 1 column, 2 column. Everything is now in a good manner. This is still going on. 8 bars, 16 mm bar we use in jacket, 8 bar for jacketing, and 125 mm center to center stirrup 10 mm. You can see here. You can see very good surface here, but after removing the loose concrete, it is see here. There is a lots of structure which are standing in an intact condition. We can see, but when we attend that structure, it is here. Exit scenario. You can see this corrosive corroded pipe because it is a sugar factory. They are making a molasses and all that things. It is an aggressive environment, and due to that, and they are storing the salty water in this tank. These are the two factors why this is in this condition within 7 or 8 years. So this is the now the polymer. This is the shear connector. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the lapping. So these are the structural repair. This beam is also polymer. Now work is going on, but it is stopped due to the COVID-19. But this is the after completion of this, it will take more than double load than it designed. It is more than this safety factor is now more than 5. You can say. This is the water tank. It is structurally not much in a bad condition, but these joint 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the construction joint. From this construction joint, the water is start leaking, and the concrete is delaminated, and we have to attend this water tank for repair. This is the shaft of water tank. We started, you can say, scaffolding, and every stage we can say test this shaft concrete. But shaft concrete is overall in a good condition. It is no need of the structure repair. It needs the surface repair. One by one, stage by stage, and this complete scaffolding is completed. This is a shaft. You can see the condition of shaft here. Inside it is a very, very good condition. These joints are also in a well condition. There is no opening of joints. There is no corrosion. There is no sign of corrosion or no sign of the deterioration. Because ultimately the concrete is good, but due to aggressive environment, it may happen. This is the inside of the tank. It is 10 meter, 15 meter dia. This is a 50 meter dia. This is 10 lakh liter capacity. The previous tank was 6 lakh liter capacity of tank. This is the 10 lakh capacity of liter capacity of tank. The joints are due to joint. The other, we can say, covering and plaster also, they are delaminated. This is the top of the tank, means inside. Just we have to take care about the bottom of that particular top, this, because due to water or chemical or salty water, the vapor pressure is, we can say, act in this surface, on this surface. So most of the person or client say that there is no need of coloring and give the anti-corrosive treatment in this, or paint in this particular surface, because we are filling water in the, we can say, four side. This is the top, no need of that. But the top is the most vulnerable because it is a dry and wet condition, vapor pressure, this may happen, and these will be collected, that will be collected in abrupt way. These are the joints which we are treating. These are the inside scaffolding, 1, 2, these are the joints. See, what we, if we are caring about the construction joint, during that construction, take care of it, there is no need of this day. And this is the vegetations at the top of the tank. This is the vegetations. These vegetations also affect, and there is no need to plaster on that inside of that tank. See, they remain as this RCC as it is. There is no need of plaster because this is not a structural component. This is only parapet. But give the plasters and paint to this structural base. This junction is gone and it may tilt. It may tilt and fail. This is the treating of junction. This is in such a way you can see through it. Then we rebar the new bars and give the new, you can say, steel here and treat the junction with the micro concrete. See, this is the new photograph. How the joints are poor. We like this, we tie it as we seen in the previous slide. Okay, how to tie, this is the real case. How to tie it, so tie it with the rebar and see, and then fill it with the micro concrete and the polymer. This is the external side somewhere. These particular portions are very poor, other portions are very good. Just only such this portion. I don't know during construction or during erection of this particular or laying concrete is why poor in particular this area. Other concretes are very good. Only this portion is weak. I don't know, there is a problem of curing or what we discussed. There is n number of problems. Here is the scenario. But steel is 100% steel is there, but corrosion is 20 to 30% only. That's why there is no need of the structural repair. We go for the polymer and micro concrete and treat this particular bar with the corrosion paint, corrosive or anti-corrosive paint. This is after treating that particular area. You can see here, this is not very smooth because this mortar is, you can say, laying by the hand press. If we are going for plaster, there is excessive water in plaster. We have to go for the polymer. That polymer is, one part is cement, one part is you can say fine aggregate sand, and 5 liter SBR, styrene butadiene rubber. Just we have to make a lump it like laddu, and we have to hand press this mortar in this area. So it takes we can say strength of the RCC. Otherwise, plaster have no strength. And after that, we can plaster. Polymer have a strength of M20 to M25 Newton per mm square. Plaster have no strength. So this is the hand press polymer. Okay, that's why it takes strength. See, this is hand press polymer. There is no water added in that mortar. Polymer mortar, we are not adding any water. One part we can say cement, one part sand, and 5 liter SBR. Mix it, and by hand we by press we apply on the affected surface. Then slab repair its support. These are the slabs which are in a very bad condition. What we discussed in the previous slides, what is the feasibility of the repair or feasibility of the reconstruction? This is not feasible because this premises, this bedroom is in uh, our premises, but the previous, this is the fourth floor, fifth floor is the other person's flat, and there is a kitchen, and they spend more than 10 to 15 lakhs in kitchen. There is a luxurious kitchen they, you can say, furnished, but beneath that kitchen the slab is in this condition. Then they doesn't allow us to uh, come, we can say, in their premises and recast this slab, because I first say that this is a very costly affair, because you recast the slab is, you can say, 1 rupees, but when you repair it, it takes more than 5 rupees, 5 times costlier than the new slab. But we are helpless because that owner of that flat, they are not allowing us to enter in that flat. This is the scenario. With the corrosion. Then we decide to repair from the bottom. We provide this steel, 10 mm steel at, you can say, 125 mm center to center. And this is the C section, it 1 meter center to center to the that slab. Just working this way, and we rebar here and rebar here at the center. The both bars are connected, and we tie it up. And to support this bar and the slab, this is the section we provided. This is a new bar, we implement it. This is a very precise work, so agencies have to, we can say, work on the site. It is not that just make the size and placing at the that particular working place. Yes, we have to hire the agencies. We can work here, so it is a why it is costly affair. You can understand. See here. These was one of the culprit what we discussed. This is the electrical pipe concealed. We already discussed in our previous slide. This is the culprit, and if it is not there, this slab will be in a good condition, because leakages come through this pipe and spread to over slab, and the slab is in this poor condition. See, this is the pipe. You can see some dampness also here. It is in damp condition till now. During take the photo. These are the pipes. That's why I'm saying that don't, we can say, install pipe in such a way. These are the construction. See, one by one, by hand press, we are, you can say, polymer. What I see the proportion: one cement, one sand, then 5 to 7 liter SBR depending upon the site condition, and we hand press this mortar to this particular slab, and each take a strand like concrete, and then we plaster it.
वाटलंच मला. नाही काही बात नाही. काय कसं कधी झालं होतं तुमची इंटरव्ह्यू?
So this is the hand press. This is the bonding. You can say.
बरंच लेट.
This is the bonding coat of 1 liter SBR, then 1 liter water, and 1 kg cement. This is the bonding coat, and after bonding coat, we press this polymer. And after plaster, it seems like this. This is by hand pressing. See, this is the by hand pressing. By hand pressing, you can say, apply this polymer mortar. Don't go for plaster for the delamination of concrete. See, this is the after repair. It is finished. Then their kitchens are also intact, and we are also happy with the and go for the some false ceiling here, and things will be resolved. Jacketing, what we seen in that water tank also, this shear connector. In such case, we cannot, in principle, we have to excavate for jacketing up to the, we can say, footing. But in some case, we are not able to excavate due to the existing structure and the person they are occupying the whole structure. And during excavating, if some tremor is there and we are in trouble, in such case, we are making a pad foundation in ground beam. Top and bottom, we are making a mesh, and there is a 600 by 600 depth, and according to the column we make a pad foundation and then take a rebar of our new jacketing from this pad foundation. See, this is here, it is completed at ground beam level. This is at the footing level. If the building is vacant and there is no any, you can say, question of safety, then we can go for the. In our SUNIT Surat also, the library building is jacketed like this pad foundation, external column. Here is there. The one case is there. In some areas there is a vibration in the buildings or that particular structures. There is a very small points we have to take care. The one is floor mill and one is the machine foundation. What I am discussing with you. We are going for the machine foundation here. Just this slide is in a reverse manner. I want to see the machine. These are the machines. Previously, these machines are installed in a haphazard way. They use the clean beam. One bolt is, you can say, installed in clean beam. One bolt is in RCC, PCC, and the imbalance is there. So we remove the old PCC and then make a new foundation and new pocket for the. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4 pocket for the that machine bolt, and transfer this load to the nearby beams and nearby columns. Here you can see, because the video may be the or site visit may give the more precise thing, but we are transferring load in a similar manner. Previously, if there is a machine of 4 bolt, 2 bolts are on beam and 2 bolts are on the PCC. So there is an imbalancing of the vibration, and buildings are vibrating, and it may be vulnerable for collapse because the resonance may come in picture. So we remove the whole particular area and make that particular pockets of it, and giving that pockets connects the pocket to nearby columns and beam here. So it is interconnected with each other. The old beam was cracked. Old beam are cracked because the 2 bolts are on the beam and 2 bolts on the PCC. So these beams are cracked and flooring may settle. That's why we remove the old beam and then recast it. This is removed because from the beam column junction it is cracked. So we remove it and then recast all the things. See, this is the bolt of foundation. This and these machines are again installed. The machines are again installed. This is a very small problem. There is only floor mill, but due to the floor mill, the residents of the buildings are they are complaining. I don't know what is the I don't have the old design of the structure or apartment, but in ground floor the person who is, you can just start the floor mill, start the vibrating. The same problems are as the previous machine foundation. The one one side of the particular that installation is on a fixed area, and one side of installation in a, we can say, a PCC or flooring. So we remove all the things and make a foundation which is connected to each other, and then it will be resolved. See. Make a new foundation for this flooring. There is very small things which are, but there is n numbers of the structures and n numbers of the problems are as it is. The eggs are vibrating and everyone is going okay. But after this vibrating is continuous due to fatigue, that may be a failure. There is a typical case history. We can say taken from the Krishna content. Restoration of the machine foundation with low viscosity, high molecular weight, thermoplastic monopole. Monopole grout is a very fantastic material. That's why I take this case study. See how it is fantastic. You can see this is the already
Excuse me, sir. Yes, sir.
I think now it's okay. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Your
sir.
screen is visible now.
Yes, due to the connection problem which has happened.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. This is a fantastic material. You can see how
Sir.
just I am one minute.
Sir.
Okay. Before grouting you can see, and after grouting it is, you can just seal in a fantastic way. This is the building metro project. The grouting of cracks into 1.5 meter thick walls to successfully arrest the seepage of water. I don't know. This is the why it is happening. Fine. Now repairs to raw mill foundation at a cement plant. This is the big foundation. Just repair. This is the machine. You can see this is a injection grouting machine. We inject the material in here. These are the points, and these are the open reinforcements. These are the points we can inject the material from here. This is the ultrasonic test after the before repair. You can say 0.7 and 0.8 this is disconnecting, but after repair you can see this fluent means in between gaps are filled in a fantastic way. So the density of that concrete and the concrete will be monolithic after we can say this injection grouting. It is proved by this thing. This 0.1 and 0.2 you can also check that it is, you can say, tested at IIT Bombay. This is now smooth, you can say.
I take care.
This is the National Highway project. This is a low viscous material. This is pouring the material at monopole in these cracks of road. Here the junction, this is the points are you can see already, you can say installed, and they pour it. In between cracks are filled, as we discussed in theory. In between cracks are filled, drill it and pour it. This is, we can say, very low viscous material. The viscosity is less than water, so we can pour it. This is repair to chimney. This is also, we can say, this chimney same repair like water tank, but joints is in the shaft, like this particular joints are, you can see, in a vulnerable condition. So this is the case. Remove the you can say loose concrete, pour the injection grouting in that particular cracks, and make the concrete monolithically, ultimately completing. This is the last case, but it is, we have to learn